Hi everyone, it's Lisa Brown with Ink and Inspirations. Thanks for joining me today. And for today's tip, I just wanted to put together a masculine birthday card for you. I get lots of questions about doing cards for men, and so I wanted to show you how I put one together real quickly with just one color of ink, some designer series paper, and a neutral colored cardstock. Right here you can see I have a card base that's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and what I did to give it some texture, I ran it through my Big Shot using the Square Lattice Textured Impressions folder. And what I did is I put it in like this and put the plates on the standard cutting platform and ran it through my Big Shot just like that, so I would have a textured cover to my card. Now if you don't have a Big Shot and you don't have the Textured Impressions folder, this is not necessary for this card. I just wanted to give it just a little bit of texture, but you could just as easily make this one without the texture. Okay, the designer paper I'm using today is Elegant Soiree. It is in the Big Idea Book and Catalog, and even though it has a feminine sounding name, I really like it for masculine cards. It uses Baja Breeze and Crumb Cake and very vanilla, and I have a 5 1/2 by 1 inch strip here and a 1 1/2 inch strip by 5 1/2. So, and I'll have all these dimensions up on my on the annotation, so no need to worry about that. I also found a strip of soft suede cardstock. It was about a 1/2 inch wide in my scrap drawer, and I thought I can use that for a punch, and this is the scallop border punch, and I just slipped that in and punched it out, and I'm going to use that as a border here to set that off nicely from the background of the card. So I'm going to use my Tombow glue and just put a little strip here along the edge, and try not to get too glue happy with it. Okay, there we go. And then I want to apply it to the back here. Whoops, and that happens, so I have some baby wipes handy, and I'm going to use that. I'm just butterfingers today. Okay. Let me get this on here. And you see, I'm just going to have it slipping out, just peeking out from behind. Slipping out is more like it. Everything else is slipping out of my hands. From behind this strip of paper. Okay, now, before I go on, I'm going to clean this up. Okay, so what I did to this other strip of the designer paper is I'm going to take my soft suede classic ink and my sponge, and I'm just going to sponge up around the edges to give it a little more color and to set it off from the background a little better. Now, my background is textured, and when you are adhering designer paper, any kind of elements to a textured paper, then it is best to use something that will go down into those grooves and adhere well, and that's why I'm using my Tombow Mono Multi Glue. Alright, what I'm going to do is just line that up, and see this straight stripe right here is going to help me line that up straight. So I'm going to try to get this glue on here again without messing up and getting it everywhere. My goodness. Okay, here we go. Line that up, and it's Tombow liquid glue, so it's going to let me move it to straighten it up if I need to. And that's going to go here. Now before I adhere that to a card, I am going to put some ribbon. And ladies or men, you can put ribbon on a masculine card. It just adds a little bit to it, and I want something to really separate this border here. So I have some Crumb Cake seam binding ribbon that I'm just going to tie in a knot around here, and I'm just going to measure how much I need and snip it off with my Crafton paper scissors that I use only for ribbon, and tie a knot. And then if you've watched my videos before, you've seen that I like to secure my ribbon with a glue dot, a mini glue dot, and I'm going to do that in just a minute. If I can get this tied. And give it a little tug there. And trim off those ends where it's not too foo-foo, but it just adds a little bit to your card. Whoops. Trying to get in too big of a hurry. Okay, so get those scraps out of the way and get my paper piercer that helps me easily get my glue dot, and I'm going to secure that right there. Now, I'm going to go ahead and secure this part of the card, the layers, to the base of the card. Okay. And I'm going to line it up there with, but if I put it on my grid pad here, my mat, I can easily line that up. Okay, so while that's drying, I want to do my sentiment here, and I'm going to use Wish Big. That is from the Wordplay stamp set, and I have a piece of very vanilla, excuse me. I'm going to ink that up, and I'm going to stamp it right here, and then I'm going to take this 1 3/4 inch circle punch and punch this out. Alright, now I want to set this off a little more from the card than just that vanilla on vanilla. So first I'm going to sponge the edges with my soft suede. Alright, then I'm going to take my designer label punch and take Baja Breeze, which is one of the colors in the designer paper, and I'm going to punch 2 of those out. This is just a little trick I like to use. I'm going to border this sentiment in this circle off with these 2 designer labels. So I think I'm going to use snail on that. Okay. And put that just like that. And do the same with the bottom. And it's just peeking out, but it gives it, it frames it off nicely, and it has a masculine look. Okay, now just to add a little element of fun there, I'm going to use one of these vintage trinkets. I love these for masculine cards. Let's see, that one's kind of copper. That should be pretty. That's kind of like an antique brass color. And take my paper piercing tool, and I'm going to put it right there through the star in Wish, and I can go through all of those layers, punch it through. I'm having trouble with my fingers today. Okay, push that in. Alright, we're going to mount that right there with dimensionals to make it stand out a bit from the card. Put one there and there, and one on each side, and peel that off, and you're going to have a birthday card that is perfect for a masculine birthday, but would also work well for a lady or a woman. And I'm just going to center that right there. Okay, so there you go, just one color of ink, some paper, ribbon, and a little bit of embellishing, and you've got a card ready to go. I hope you've enjoyed this video tutorial today. Visit my website at www.inkandinspirations.com and sign up for my mailing list. You'll receive some free gifts and not miss out on any of my tips or my monthly newsletter. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.